What's up, guys? It's your girl Stacy Cake, your host for What's Hot, and today I am here to review the trailer, to react to the trailer for the new movie called Weapons. So it's another horror movie. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I think it's gonna be a little creepy. I don't know how scary it's gonna be, but I'm excited to get into it. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and comment. And yeah, let's see what this is. Rated R, so it should be good.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only her?
Children.
That's a crazy position to be in, and she's actually
I think it's
innocent.
best if you keep some distance from this place.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
This is where the story really starts.
Okay, so let's get into this Weapons. So, first of all, just a quick run over of the synopsis. Weapons is about, as we saw, an entire class of students for this single teacher goes missing. In the trailer, they don't specifically let us know, but in the written synopsis, it says all of the students go missing except one. And so now the town is like trying to figure out like what the heck happened to these kids? Like what or who is responsible? And obviously in the trailer, it's like everybody's looking at the teacher because it's only her class that has been impacted, and they look to be elementary age school kids. So it's like, okay, like parents are freaking out, parents are angry. We see the principal telling her, yeah, people are like, it's some high emotions going on, you might, for your own safety, might just want to stay away from the school. But like, obviously it's a supernatural component here that's going on. She's having scary dreams, it looks like she's seeing like kids in the dark or whatever. And so yeah, I'm gonna get into the pros, cons, and my rating for this trailer. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And first of all, let's get into the pros because I think it was a lot of good stuff that was happening here. For starters, I really enjoyed that they had a child narrating the trailer here. I think that was a very interesting decision and a great decision, a great choice to enhance the creepiness in the trailer and just really set the tone for what we are about to experience when we see this movie. I think that definitely helps carry the vibe as far as like this whole storyline being centered around missing children. But it makes me wonder, who is the child narrating the trailer, and is this child going to be a major component in the movie, or is this something they just did for the trailer? That would be my biggest question with that. But I love the decision for them to do that, because it, like, children just have a natural creepiness in these situations, and I think it goes hand in hand with the idea that children are like closer to the veil. If you're like not into scary stuff or whatever, like a lot of times you'll hear that children are able to see things that adults can't see. Children are like more in touch spiritually and have more spiritual connections and powers the younger that they are, and a lot of times they experience the supernatural just as a part of daily life, whereas adults, we fortunately or unfortunately don't really have those experiences as we get older. So yeah, but just them having a child kind of narrate this whole thing is definitely lending to the creepier side of things, and I think that's definitely a highlight for this horror film. Next, I love the aerial view angle. I don't know why, but it definitely stood out to me when the children were exiting the school bus in like the beginning part of the trailer, and they kind of showed the children's head from like this bird's eye view of them exiting the bus. I don't know why I liked it. I just thought it was a cool angle, and it really stuck out to me. Another thing that I enjoyed was that the synopsis, I feel like they explained the synopsis really, really well in this trailer. We weren't really like guessing what it was going to be about, but they didn't, at the same time, they didn't overshare to the point where it's like there's nothing left to be desired. They definitely upheld the mystery that I think a trailer is supposed to strike from an audience, from viewers. And I think they told just enough. The way they carried it really was like a scary bedtime story, just the way this whole trailer was narrated and presented to the viewer. So I think that was definitely a highlight. Like, it makes you definitely want to see more. And again, it was told like a scary bedtime story, so I think that was just a highlight for me too, and a pro as far as me just watching this trailer and just kind of analyzing what they've put together and the tone that they're trying to set for the film. And I think my favorite part of the trailer was the montage of clips at the end that kind of sped through, kind of showing us quick highlights of like the scary parts of the movie. We can see someone's face being grabbed. We can see like some black stuff being poured all over someone stabbing themselves with the fork. And it just made me more curious as to that edit that they had going on at the end. Also featured some letter play, like text play on the screen, and that made me more curious as to why the film is called Weapons. I'm really interested in seeing like how that correlates, how the storyline correlates to the title. So yeah, those were things that I think I love the most about this trailer and really stood out for me. And let's get into some cons. One of the things that I noticed, and I watched the trailer a few times, obviously I didn't record every time I watched it on here, but I watched it a few times after I recorded my reaction for you guys, just to pick up on some things. And after watching it a couple times, I was like, am I tripping or not? So I watched it a few more times to see, and I think like my assessment is valid. Like, I feel like I wish we got more FaceTime. Like the first like several clips, we don't really see any faces. Most of the scenes in the clips that they show us in the beginning are like, we're seeing the back of heads, the top of heads, or empty rooms, empty streets. Like, we're not really seeing anyone. And I think having more, like, I get why they did it, and I definitely think that was intentional, especially with the synopsis being about missing kids. It's a director's decision to show absence, and so I understand why the decision was made, but however, I don't know if it was as effective as it could have been if we just would have saw more people in the trailer. Like, for example, the scene where they show the clock at 2:17 in the empty bed. Why couldn't we have seen the children getting out of bed and exiting out during that point? Why did it have to be an empty room? They could have showed a single child getting up out of bed during that time, or even lying in bed or getting up and walking out the door at some point. You know, like I feel like that would have definitely elevated just the feeling or added to the eeriness of it, to kind of see the state that the children were in when this was taking place, versus us just looking at an empty bed in an empty room. And you know, even when they showed like parts of the teacher, we're seeing just like her lower back and empty desk and stuff. Like, if you really go back and watch this trailer, it takes a while before we start really getting like centered FaceTime. And even then, it's like one person at a time. We see clips of the teacher, we see clips of a parent here and there, and then towards the end we get more of the faces as we get closer to that montage that I talked about in my series of pros. So yeah, I think more FaceTime just would have elevated this and took it to the next level, this trailer, and just would have made it more engaging and a little more memorable as we get to know the characters in this film. Because yeah, we don't really know again who this kid is that's narrating, and we're seeing the teacher, but you know, obviously we don't know much about her, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's just I wanted some more one-on-one FaceTime with some of the actors and actresses in this cast. And I think this might have helped with what I'm about to say next. So my other thing, like I felt like, yes, I get the eerie vibe from the child narrating and just how they set the scene, which was great, but I still feel like this trailer lacked some emotional weight. Like it didn't really evoke any emotions for me. Again, maybe I don't know if it just feels like childish because it's like centered around children and I'm just like not really moved. Interesting, yes, taking nothing away from it, definitely interesting, but it didn't evoke any emotion out of me. And I love a trailer that just like brings out some type of emotion, whether it's suspense or fear or laughter or just like, I don't know, like a stronger emotion. I think, yes, I'm a little curious, but it didn't like draw me where I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't necessarily get that. And I think that just might have been from the lack of FaceTime, because I felt like I definitely started getting more of that feeling at the end when I saw those montage of rapid clips. I was like, ooh, something's happening. Something interesting is happening. So I think the slow buildup was good, but it could have been more effective if that part was a little bit shorter and we got some more one-on-one with our cast throughout the film, throughout the trailer. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you guys planning to go see Weapons? What have you heard? Is this your type of scary movie? Do you think it's actually going to be scary, or do you think it's just going to be an interesting storyline? I feel like it could be a hit or miss. And with that being said, I'm going to rate this trailer 3.5 out of 5 flames. And yeah, I'm still actually interested. I'm going to try to see this in theaters. And let me know what you guys think if you're planning on going to see it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys next time.